Welcome to my channel. This is a reading for Aquarius for January 2021. Big thank you to all my returning subscribers and welcome to all those that are new to my channel. So quick disclaimer, general reading won't apply to everybody, but for those that it does resonate with, I hope you gain some insight, and certainly check back if it doesn't resonate for you this month, check back for February. So Aquarius, what I feel is you're having a breakthrough month on a multitude of levels here. Primarily on an emotional front, I see for many of you, but there is definitely a lot of good things that are coming through for you. There is some financial awareness of some new things coming in, and definitely some opportunities and some victories as well. But overall, I feel it's much more optimistic year for you, and definitely 2021, I feel on the average is more overall more optimistic for all of us. So I'll get right into the reading here, and starting with the fortune reading cards by Sharina Starr with illustrations by Richard Crooks. So the first card out is the card of the plane, and this indicates a journey ahead, whether it's physically or metaphoric. So either way, it speaks to a more full life is what the card depicts on the front here. So what I would say is that it feels that you're breaking away from some kind of stagnancy. I feel for many of you that this feeling of being stuck is more on an emotional level, but I do feel it's on several fronts for the majority of you. So, whether again that's speaking to things that weigh heavily on you on an emotional or financial front, but it does feel overall that you're ready for change on a multitude of levels here. So I feel like you're taking advantage of this new year to reevaluate where you're at and where you want to be, and you're reestablishing priorities, and you're moving toward, your personal goals and evolution, your own personal evolution for this month. So again, the plane indicates moving in a new direction. So again, it can be more metaphoric, but I feel that it's moving you, a lot of you, in a new direction. And this can be on the front of a job. It can speak to a variety of areas in your life. Certainly, as I said, emotional awareness. I do feel that it may be, that a lot of you are in discussion about taking a trip or a mini holiday or a drive somewhere. But again, for the majority of you, I feel it's just moving in a new direction. So a little more metaphoric on that front. But the plane does show up when there's a new job coming in. So, and I also feel that this is about you feeling more inspired to learn. So whether that learning comes from, you considering a new course of study, or, taking on a new position that requires more in-depth learning, or just doing your own personal research to start up a business of some sort. But either way, there's definitely a lot more learning and study that's coming through for you that was emphasized in several of the cards. So there is a solution that's going to be coming through for the month of January for many of you as well. A lot of clarity more toward the end of January that will prompt you to take some action. But January is really a month to take the action where you're desiring change, but I do feel it's a lot of contemplative energy for the first few weeks, and you're probably not going to be moving into a lot of the breakthrough energy until, maybe the last week or week and a half of January. Okay, so the next card out is the Devil. So the Devil is very close to the plane energy. So I really feel, again, you're breaking free you're coming out of this period of inaction, or this cycle of overindulgence or obsessiveness or negativity, or whatever it was that was causing you to feel trapped in this holding pattern. Again, for some of you, maybe it related to a substance, over drinking or whatever, or just over concern regarding your finances that, caused a lot of anxiety, and basically kind of froze you in place in trying to figure out what your next step would be, or your next move. But I feel that you're overcoming this energy. And again, that could be also speaking to very disruptive, irregular sleep patterns. So, because there was other cards that spoke to anxiety and that kind of, heaviness coming through for the month of January. There was also some cards of loss. So for some of you, this might even be related around the loss of an individual or somebody very important to you, very, very close to you, very meaningful. And maybe there's still some kind of a healing energy around that. But this is a healing month for you regardless. So again, I felt that you're starting to move out of this energy. It's not to say that there won't be still challenges coming up this month, but but certainly I feel that this is kind of a long-standing energy that has gone beyond January because it's so closely entwined with the thorns, and of course the thorns are weathering the challenges ahead will bring in a new and positive future. So what I do see here, though, is for those of you that were having some difficulties around a legal issue or a contractual issue, I feel that you'll have success in dealing with that issue. It's not to say, again, there won't be challenges with it, but eventually I feel you'll be victorious in overcoming because I feel you're going to start rolling with the accepting that it comes with the territory to be able to kind of level up and move in the direction where you need to go. So if there was a period of chaos, I feel again you're learning to roll with it. And the thorns really revolves around that period of suffering, where you've been emotionally let down by others, or where there was a dramatic loss in your life, not necessarily for the month of December or January. This could be something that's more residual, but for whatever reason, the month of January seems to have, somehow something triggered or related around this emotional difficult time. But again, it can also represent someone that you counted on was not trustworthy or supportive during a time when you needed them here over the last month or two, and maybe you were requiring some guidance, or usually you get guidance from this person and they just weren't there for you. But there's something around communication or some other, connection that just didn't, it just left you feeling empty on some front. So I feel that because there's other cards that come out here that relate around the strength card, and a lot of these are duplicates as well, so it really is a very deep, very strong resonating energy. But the strength card came out in the later cards, and the card of financial restraint. So I feel that you are regaining back some degree of control in January, especially in regards to your finances and on an emotional front, and healing, but incrementally. So whatever's happening with your finances, I feel that you're really holding on to the money or holding back on a lot of you're holding back your energy in a lot of ways here. So, but again, I feel you're going to slowly, probably not until the very end weeks here of January, slowly, incrementally, deal with the issues and start to gain some clarity and insight as to where to go with, resolving the issues around your financial concerns from these preceding months. But either way, there is movement in January about you getting back on track. So you're in a period of rebuild is how I would say. And again, I mentioned that there was a lot of repeating energy. So of course you do have the devil again, and this is with the Unknown Tarot by Kim Kranz. So with each deck, there can be a little variance on the meanings, but with this particular deck and the combination of cards that follow, I do feel that it's revolving around you regaining clarity and control over your finances after a long-standing period of, heavy, dark energy around what to do, or negativity, or again, could be relating around addiction or any kind of extreme that set you off balance. And again, it could have been just, feeling too afraid to move. For some of you, it may have just been extreme restraint and holding back and not able to free yourself and move forward, because it is followed by the Son of Cups. And of course, that energy again is about, you're being freed up here. It's kind of a juvenile Page of Cups kind of energy as well, but you're breaking free. And I feel that this can actually speak to somebody who is more of an artistic person. I do feel this is yourself, but it could be somebody who's around you or and influencing you on this front. But somehow I feel the majority of you are expressing yourselves in an artistic way. So again, the card does represent a person, artistic person, musician, artist, or somehow you are translating and able to vocalize or communicate in a way that is allowing you to be more internal. And what I mean by that is your expression is coming through in a quieter form. It's not overtly vocal. I do feel that there's more of a repressed sort of energy around this expression. So you are expressing yourself, and I feel that's part of the healing process for a lot of you. So again, this can represent someone who, again, quietly expressive, but feels things very deeply and intensely. And I just feel for January, it's like a light bulb has been turned on for you that is helping you to clear the path and to see things in a broader, more expansive way with more clarity. And that's when your solutions start to come through with the Ace of Swords. So, again, it is followed by the Nine of Pentacles, and even though the Nine of Pentacles for sure is, can be representative of a card of independence and standing on your own 2 feet again, and with a certain degree of stability, for sure that's what I'm feeling is coming through. Is not that you're doing everything alone necessarily, but I feel that you feel that you're doing it alone. So, you're getting back on track, you're stabilizing your home and your foundation, but there is some kind of stability either way that's coming through in the month of January with that combination of cards. So the next card's out. This is another new deck that I have. Really like this one. I'll actually start doing some of the reviews on the decks too as I go along, but for the moment, I'll just give you a quick glimpse of what the card looks like here. So this is actually, because it's so new a deck here, I need to actually look for the name of it. Maybe I'll bring that up at the end here. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to bring that up at the end here for you because, Wisdom. This is actually the Wisdom of the House of Night cards, Oracle cards, and that's by Colette Baron Reid. So anyway, the card of the fledgling speaks to learning. And again, there's a lot of cards that speak to new learning coming in for you. So again, for some of you, that's going to be related around seeking a new job or seeking work or, advancing in a position where you have to learn or train or retrain for something that involves more learning. But either way, it can also speak to the form of a new job because there was the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Cups that was coming through there, which is also really the equivalent of the card that I just mentioned with the Son of Cups. But again, and then of course later cards also revolve around, the Ace of Pentacles coming forward as well. So there is something that's coming in for you that's new as an opportunity. I can't speak to whether or not it's a great opportunity or not. That would be your decision. But I feel on the average, a lot of things that we might consider a negative opportunity were a good lesson. And I don't want to say lesson in the sense that it may take some skin to get through a situation, but it's also a card of, again, leveling up. So I don't really see things as failures in the way that maybe a lot of you see failure. I feel that it's really part of the process. Like you have to do it. You only have so much information. So based on the little scrambles and pieces of information, you're making a decision and you have to just fail fast and get to where you need to go. That's more the agenda. Because I don't think there is an absolute guarantee on anything. But for sure, I mean, people have done things ahead of us, and so there is always a path that we can go by in terms of following another person, modeling another person's success. So anyway, I do digress. Anyway, the point is that there is new growth, there's new learning, and again, I feel it's around an apprenticeship, or perhaps it's something around that new position within a company if you're still employed. But the card of Complicated is the next one out, and this one really, to me, speaks to Wisdom of the House. Wisdom of the House deck. I was going to repeat here, but what I'm really trying to say is that there was a lot of issues that might have been unsettled around the house, around the workplace. Whatever that is for you, it's a great deal of confusion on whatever front. But again, I feel like it's because there's such a heavy emotional energy. I feel that this is something that you've been dealing with over the past few months, and it just progressively worsened and left you really confused about how to resolve things. So that's why I feel things, seemed really complicated. But as much as you're ready to step forward here in January and take that leap of faith into the new year, because I did have a couple of cards that did fall out, although I didn't take them because I already pulled 100 here. But I did feel that it was the Fool card that jumped out. But you are, I felt, ready to start this new year with enthusiasm. And of course, there is that call for you to restrain being too visible at this time, because there's something around card of deceit or deception, or somebody who might not be a true friend or a true partner, or something that isn't as good as it looks in a job, whatever that is. I just feel that there's a limitation in January that you're just not able to clearly see yet. So wait until you have a little more certainty as to what you're looking at. But either way, you know, you just want to limit what you say and do in regard to, you know, a new job or a new project that you're working on, or just protect your ideas and or something around your actions at this time. So again, watch others' actions and be aware of what's being said. There may be some inconsistencies that draw some alarms. So the Cycles card, and that was relating to the denial card there. The Cycles card is one that speaks to karmic energy. So it does feel that what you put out into the world, or whatever you're predominantly thinking about, you're drawing energy from, and that attracts to you because it's what you're thinking about constantly. I'm not saying try to have an artifice and a false sense of positivity, but the best way to be more authentic and congruent with yourself is just to be really in touch with your values, your belief systems, so that you act from that place of authenticity, and then that way you don't question your actions because it's coming from an authentic place. So you're not going to say, you know, should I take this job? You're going to be looking at your current situation and saying, you know, would I take a job that you know, requires me to do something that is harmful to another, or would I take a job that is more in line with my passions or my goals or my dreams, and I can learn from and broaden my scope, even if it's not a lot of pay? I mean, you're probably more inclined to take the job that actually has a little more of an investment of you in it. So just a weird comparison because that's just how I roll with examples. They generally suck. But anyway, moving on. The Energy Oracle card is this deck here, and this is by Sandra Ann Taylor, and this is the card of blossoming abundance. So again, it speaks to something coming in for the month that will increase your finances, and for others, there's something coming in that is of value to you. So again, abundance doesn't have to be finance. It can be just something that really draws a lot of meaning. The yin yang energy revolves around balancing out your situation. You know, and I feel for a lot of you, this will be, again, you're going to be using an artistic, understated way of expressing yourself, but that will allow you to be more logical and rational minded as you come to the solutions. So I feel it's a really good balance there. I feel that you're in your head, though, more so in January, and it does seem to be aiding you, though. You're in that hermit mode to a great degree in providing those answers so that you're able to gain some insight and create a strategy. I feel there's a lot of structure and planning that's going on here with the strategy card. So you're putting pen to paper, you're making the plan to achieve your next set of goals, you're structuring out your short-term and your long-term goals, and you're really figuring out the road ahead. So the next card out is the Garden and the Gate. This speaks to me about you being safe. So you have a lot of things on the horizon here that you're going to be benefiting from, but you just need to shift your mindset so that it's a habit. You've got to be able to keep your focus and then expand your resources by being open to those new possibilities. I don't feel you're quite there yet because I feel that there's a lot of anxiety and energy around worry about what's up ahead and, you know, how many storms you're going to have to kind of encounter along the way. But it's more about really the scale of the storms. And I feel that for the most part, they're really just small scale storms. So whatever little issues that do kind of arise, as I say, little trouble, disturbances, I don't feel that, I feel that you're already prepared on some level, whether you've gone through the actual situation or not. I feel that you're already kind of mentally prepared. You've done the worrying beforehand. So again, there is a greater picture, and again, you're just looking at the small storms. So just stay open to resources and think about resources, and realize that when you're in a period of worry and anxiety, it makes it much more difficult to be expansive and see more options available because you're too stuck in your head trying to cover all angles, and you usually have a narrower scope when you're under heavy duress. So again, moving on from I mean, just a reminder, you can't control all the elements. You know, as I mentioned before, we all operate with only fragments of that life puzzle. So, you know, you can't be expected to know the right moves. You know, there's timing and other factors and other people that are involved in those decisions. So all you can do is just put your best foot forward, fail fast, and keep moving until you get it exactly where you need things to be. So again, there will always be places where we are bound to stumble, is what I'm getting at. So with the financial restraints card, I feel that you are being a lot more conservative with both your time and your money. I don't see any losses in the month of January. I feel that you're actually moving toward opportunities, not away from them. So, and I feel that was all clarified with another deck here, which unfortunately I have no clue which deck this one is. If anybody knows what it is, please write it down in the comments. But I really like it. They're just very simple, simple cards and just easy to really look at all the elements in it. But anyway, outside of that is the clarifier. And again, this is the Ace of Swords. So again, you're seeing things more clearly about your finances and you're able to move in the next direction because you see your options now and what's available to you. So I do feel that you're in a place that's strongly geared, again, toward more learning. A lot of that energy, you know, is on this path that you're about to embark on. It definitely has more ideas that are coming through with the Ace of Swords. I do feel that you're using your mind more, and I feel that you're also ready for this challenge and you're prepared in some way because I feel that you did a lot of healing, you know, throughout the month. So you're actually able to start moving beyond the action phase, maybe not taking action so much in January. I think everything's still in the contemplative stage, but with the Page of Cups, and that's one of the other clarifiers, and the Swords and the Pentacles, because there's a lot of a lot of pages here. So again, you've got the Page of Swords, you've got the Page of Pentacles. So again, this could speak to you being in an environment where there's a lot of young energy, or going back to school and there's a lot of studious younger people around you, or maybe you are just around a lot of your own friends, younger group of people, and you're working together. But either way, there is some kind of energy around, you know, things starting to work in tandem anyway. So again, a group of young people around you that you're working with, or young children that are somehow heavily influencing the read here. But for others, again, it speaks to having learned some hard lessons, you know, of the heart, and that took some mental tenacity and that learning to overcome, you know, to reground again with the Page of Pentacles and the other two pages as well. So again, you know, still for other Aquarians, this might even speak to, as I said, you know, more of a learning environment, you know, that you're maybe doing more business with younger people. But either way, you know, pages are about that youthful, passionate, sort of excitable energy. And if that's you, you're using your intellect, you're educating yourself, you're learning about your resources, and you're really getting things in motion. So it is followed by the Seven of Swords, however. So I feel that this is really about, I mean, it could speak to some kind of deceit here, and that's why I cautioned, as I did earlier, but this is also about a need to strategize, you know, and whether it's strategizing to protect your interests, or if it's strategizing to be able to move ahead, you know, and not reveal your ideas or your moves at this time. Either way, I just feel you need to hold back on a little bit of that, and get into the planning and the executing once you've set your plans in motion. Because once you do that, once you strategize, it is followed by the Eight of Wands, and of course that is a fast-moving energy. So whether that's a lot of action that's coming in, you know, following January, or a lot of communication, or a fast exchange of correspondence around an idea, but there's definitely some kind of fast-moving direction that is moving you toward the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Four of Pentacles, I mean, again, is more of a restrictive energy to me, where you're hanging on to things. You're not really, you know, in a position where you feel relaxed enough. I feel like you're really trying to regain or take control and hang on to your position here and in regards to your finances. But again, with the Strength card, showing up in the reading, it does speak to me that, again, you're slowly building those resources, you're building on your finances again. And also with the 3 pages, that can also speak to news coming in. And that also was followed up by the Ace of Pentacles, which I'll get to. And there's your Strength card. So again, I feel like you're getting a little more courageous and feeling a little more empowered as the month goes on. You also have the second chakra, Archangel Ariel. And for sure, I mean, there's definitely protection coming through with this card. And it does, I mean, Ariel is really representing a lot of youthful, creative, nostalgic energy. So it could be that for some of you, you're drawing on an old talent or an old artistic pursuit that you really enjoyed, and maybe you're making a career out of this or a side job out of this, but it does speak to inspiring, creative, new projects that you're using, again, that creative energy towards. So again, for some of you, it could be in regards to the strategy that you're creating. You're just being really creative in the way that you're able to manifest this, this forward movement with an idea. So the next cards out are the Psychic Tarot Oracle. This is by John Holland, and again, lots of duplicate cards here. This is also the equivalent of the Strength card with power. So in this deck, it's calling upon those inner resources and your inner willpower and that strength, to stay the course. You're relying on your intuitive process for guidance. You've got the courage again to develop the knowledge that you're acquiring. And again, you're using your resources, and whether that revolves around social media, which I feel for most of us it will be, simply because a lot of us still in quarantine. But either way, you're finding your niche. You don't let, you're not letting the media use you, meaning you're not just spending time researching and distracting yourself. I feel that you're actually looking for ways to implement the knowledge that you're acquiring here. So I feel that you are becoming more and more focused as the month goes on, because you really are creating a firm foundation here. And again, we've got with the borders represent, some intense, passionate energy as well toward a project, and certainly speaks to energy around it. And with the black around the power card, which again is strength, this is also about you being protected. So it just, again, this could be someone who's passed on for you that is also really looking after you on that front. But either way, you are being guided to intuitively, create some needed security, I feel, for you. And it's not because your life was in total chaos, but I feel that this is how you felt. I feel that there's a lot of, elements where you just felt it was beyond your ability to cope or reach or address. Okay, so again with, the firm foundation card, I just want to make a quick note here too. The type of learning that I'm talking about, again, it is a focused, intentional type of learning. And I feel that when you are really focused on it, it helps to motivate you in some way. So there's a reference to a pendulum. When it swings to one side, it never goes all the way back. So whatever you're learning, once you've learned it, you can't really go back and be that same person. I mean, we're starting with a new year, and I feel a lot of you are leaving, old aspects of yourself behind, the baggage, the struggle, and you're actually going to scale forward. I feel this is the journey that you're on, Aquarius, for January. I feel that, just to use the analogy of the train going down the tracks to this new destination, you're sightseeing in one respect, but you're also accumulating knowledge and experience and wisdom and skills, when you look at the course of your life, and you're developing a new mindset. You're developing a strategy and taking imperfect action with these few incremental steps, or what might seem like incremental steps, and then they actually amount to this big aha moment, which I feel is where you're peaking at in January. So again, it's going to move you in the right circles, by you doing the incremental slow steps, and it's going to put you in an industry that you're ready for when you're consistent. So again, I still feel you're at the beginning stage of this. I'm not to say that it's just a new idea and it's just, happening for the month of January. I actually feel some of you really had a lot of this idea long before January hit, but for whatever reason, things got in the way, or you didn't know how to move forward on it. So enable for you to advance, again, meet that learning curve. I do feel that, again, you have to make mistakes, or as they say, messes are I guess I don't want to say messes are the mistakes, but messes really become the message for yourself and for others. So it'll help you grow faster and faster. And once you can chunk down, those mini steps. So when you start looking at the 14 steps and then you group them together, you realize that that was actually a life-changing moment. So in the process, you're not seeing all those little mini steps actually amount to one big step, which revolved around education, for example. Okay, so anyway, whatever you've gone through, just remember that your life experience has value and mistakes, and they're all a part of what is the need for, I don't want to even say perfection, because there is no, we as human beings, I feel, are designed for the struggle. As there was a guru, which I can't remember his name offhand here. I'll have to come through with it later, but there was a guru that kind of made reference to, if you were given a position or given your dreams and all the things that you wanted, you would still say, okay, well, now I'm the engineer, and now what's my next move? Because we're always looking beyond the moment. So we are designed for the struggle. We're designed for the process, and we have to remember that. Even if you had $1 million, you'd start wondering, what do I do with $1 million? Like there's always another part of the picture. So as you move on to each platform of success, say you become a manager, or you own a business, or you, again, the engineer analogy there, you can start thinking about what you want from that new position and move forward on the next action, that puts you back into that new struggle. And of course, as you're into new territory, you are going to find new stressors and don't have a lot of experience necessarily to reference this new territory. But again, the more accomplishments that you have, where you have weathered something, you're more courageous, you're more confident, so you don't mind the challenge or the struggle. So you could even think of it like speaking to an older person, who's done very well for themselves in business, or again, a guru, or somebody who, you've got a lot of respect for. And, when they're talking to you about their life experience, maybe this is somebody that you model, they start with a little narrow enough niche, and say they like doing hair. So then you start, breaking it down from that point. How, what element of doing hair do you like? Do you like washing the hair? Do you like braiding the hair? Blow drying the hair, or whatever. And then you start to see, no, the person likes to actually do, putting in weaves or something into the hair. And so you start to look at the areas when you break down enough of, narrow down the niche, and see how much enthusiasm you have for each part of the process and where you're feeling most confident. And that actually helps you to move ahead and release some of those fears that might be holding you back. So again, that firm foundation card, as I said, for many of you is really what you're really working toward at this point, starting out in January. You're trying to design a plan to launch a business idea or make career moves, and develop plans in this new direction that you're starting. So you really have to focus on taking the steps toward adding to that existing framework and build on your security. So there's a lot more groundwork to be done here. But again, you're still hanging on tightly to the idea or money, or you're feeling a little closed off for the most part in January, which can also close off some new opportunities and anything else that wants to be coming in. So you have to find a way to be a little more flexible, so that you can gain that information and learn, and you don't spend so much of your time, taking two steps back in worry and anxiety. You want to be able to find a way to feel more secure, and usually that comes with more information and more resources. So that helps you, once you feel more confident and secure, to initiate the larger actions, which will be, in the coming months ahead here. So time is not something that we can get back. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, as did all of the millionaires in life and business people before you. So you have to really make good choices with your time and your energy, because there's only so much allotted for you, for each of us. So I feel there's, again, a sense of building your confidence this month. Read the resources, become the resources, walk your talk, so to speak. So moving on to the heart chakra, it can lead to healing or finding balance, adding to your foundation. That sacral chakra follows. And again, you know, that is still about, because there's other cards that speak to this as well, that you need to get out and do some physical activity. Start nurturing yourself during this time where you are in a little bit of a hermit mode or withdrawn, because it's adding to your foundation and your endurance, and overall health will, you know, allow you to be a lot more resilient in the coming months, you know, when you're looking after your well-being. So again, a lot of physical activity seems to be a requirement here for you, because it does show up in a few different cards here. And I feel it's also really important for you to do that physical part, because somehow it balances you out psychologically, as well as physically. So it's an internal and external benefit to you. But plan it out. You have to really squeeze in the time to make time. It doesn't have to be hours on a, you know, a bike or a treadmill. You know, just starting out with 10 minutes, you know, every other day, or 15, and then start adding 5 more minutes to each, you know, each time that you're sitting on the bike, for example, or exercising. And then after a while, you start to miss it when it becomes a part, when it's habitual part of your day. So material harvest is about becoming masterful in the direction that you're moving in. So something that really adds to your security and your self-sufficiency and the independence that you value. So this is a 9, and as 9s speak to finishing up a cycle, or, you know, in my books, it's really about you've learned a lesson and now it's a part of your arsenal of your tools. So you're able to complete a project and get rid of an old way of thinking, move on to something else with more wisdom. You know, you've gained some clarity, some insight, and it's really helping you to maximize during this time, to forge your way ahead and make a difference in your life. You know, throughout the year for 2021. But either way, it speaks to a transition out of an old way here. So with the emotional loss card, again, I felt that a lot of you, or some of you, I shouldn't say a lot of you, but some of you may be grieving a loss, and whether that's dealing with, you know, an emotional end, a business, end of a business, end of a job, an actual death, or some kind of an end of a relationship, or closing off, as they say, from, you know, friends and family. You know, again, maybe on the pandemic front, it's isolated you so much that you feel that there's some of you may be suffering, and this may be very painful. But whatever that disruption was for you, it's now based on an old, outmoded, weak foundation, because again, you're moving toward a firm foundation. So clearly there was some kind of element of the old foundation that you were ignoring signs, you know, that were being shown to you, because we always get signs before something breaks apart. But we don't always accept those signs. So whatever you refused to accept, whatever you didn't, you know, somehow adjust for or make enough shifts to prepare or adapt to the situation that was coming in, you know, it really requires a new mind, a new way of thinking, to be able to be flexible enough to resolve something. So whatever it was some kind of a denial, as the other card indicated. And there was a point of rebuilding something here, is what's happening in January. So again, following that, we've got the disruption card. And again, that speaks to that tower moment. Something was a little unexpected that you were dealing with. And again, I feel it's more of a residual energy. I don't feel it happened in January. But it's led to, again, the timeout card, which is really the equivalent of the hangman, basically. It's where I feel you're coming through that period where you're healing, getting rid of a toxic cycle or environment, you know, whether it was at work or in relationships or partnerships or friendships. Maybe it was a family dynamic or something, whatever it was for you that you needed to go inward and reflect on and try to heal from, whether it was somebody who wasn't there for you, whatever. You're recharging here is what this card is speaking to. And again, I feel many of you are creating, but you're unplugging in the usual way to heal from some kind of stressor. Again, physical activity, same, you know, time to start planning, riding the bike or walking or putting out some energy, building up your stamina, that kind of thing. Again, we've got the communication card. So again, I don't feel a lot of you, it's an outward vocalization. I feel it's more about you speaking your truth or having it be expressed in some artful form, you know, and it's just helping you to get out of your head. Doesn't necessarily mean, as I mentioned, that you have to speak to somebody and tell them everything that you're thinking. In fact, I actually feel that, you know, just keep your thoughts, your inner thoughts on reserve right now, and your ideas. Because I feel that you could be moving into, you know, a place where you're going to need that dynamic energy and the ideas. And somehow I feel for you, talking about it is going to take away some of that energy. But and that momentum. But either way, I would say for most of you, this is creative expression, whether it's coming through with the communication card in terms of poetry. Maybe some of you do poetry or sing. But either way, there is some kind of gift as well, as I mentioned, that was coming through for you. And I just feel that I don't know if it's related to your artistic pursuit, but with the surrender card anyway. And again, this is the Michelle Buchanan numerology deck. This card, surrender, speaks to those blockages. So again, you've got clarity that's going to come through, and I feel that you're getting past it, you're making something happen, and I feel that toward the end of January is when you're actually open and allowing it to happen. So if your thoughts are not congruent again with the action or the vision of your purpose that you've set for yourself, or the intention, you remain stagnant. So that's, again, that circular thinking. These are the blockages, the stressors, the whatever that looks like for you, kind of energy. But the universe the way I would say it is the universe puts blockages in front of us. When we're stagnant, when we're not taking responsibility for our thoughts, and we're limiting our own action. We are energy. We're meant to be in action. So, this is how the universe sets things right. By putting an obstacle or an object or some kind of a force, in your way to move you and give you the chance to mobilize to a better opportunity. Whether you recognize it or not, there is opportunity in everything, but it's the struggle that is how we level up. It's how we gain courage and credibility to move to the next step, the next stair, the new plane. So again, you are overcoming a lot of these hurdles and these obstacles with the surrender card, and it's really about acceptance. Accepting things as they are. Some things you just can't change. So the Moonology card is the meditate and contemplate. And of course, that card is a reminder to get started on learning something new, because this gives you the energy and the momentum to break away from that hard thinking and heavy thoughts, and strip away that narrow-mindedness, and it helps you to get loosened up and expand your worldview. For some of you, you really need to, find a way to loosen up and laugh again. I think that there was a certain real rigidity that was coming through as well. As I said, control freak maybe energy for the month of January. But you do have luck that's on your side. So again, once you're able to face your fears and simplify your thoughts to heal with that meditative, contemplative energy, then you're able to, realign with your values and beliefs and motivate your actions. So you're not acting out of fear and desperation, because then you're able to look past the fear, because your values and beliefs, are fulfilling a very deep part of yourself, and the fears become secondary to the purpose. So you're living life on purpose, is the point. And the answers that you need are coming, because January really does hold some kind of opportunity, for those that are looking for work, or for those that are looking for some form of value or direction. You will be directed. There's going to be a resolve for those that are in argument with or conflict with someone. A way forward will be shown, so you'll be able to get past that. You do have, as I say, luck on your side, and the answers that you need are coming. So we've got the Four of Swords energy here. Again, this is the Fountain Tarot card by Jonathan Sayes, and this talks about, again, that period of reflection, that hermit mode, where you're just getting still and trying to ground and reconnect with yourself. And this is where you're trying to get in touch with the divine and look for a little insight to move ahead and start making those plans. So again, a lot of repetitive energy here. So I really feel the message is pretty clear. This is likely, again, how many of you have moved into the month. But again, by month's end or early February, you should be, seeing enough insight and clarity to feel more confident in stepping out of this headspace. So again, we've got the Seven of Wands. I feel that a lot of you are still pretty guarded. I feel that, whether that's around a friend or a family member or workmate, somebody, again, I get the sense really let you down here. You're trying to regain your confidence, and you will. Again, you're going to be determined with this energy and this card. you're meeting those challenges. You know, you just have to align yourself with your true values and ideas and beliefs again, and believe that it's important to bring to the world, bring your voice forward. So we've got the Knight of Swords, and again, Knights are all about action. So I feel that by the end of the month here, this is where you're finally making some strategic, bold moves towards your goals, and it's important to plan and be strategic. You know, this is really the Knight of Swords energy tends to want to jump ahead swiftly and just get going, and sometimes it can be a little bit too quick out of the gate. You know, you're still in the process of healing, and you're also in that process of changing your mindset or your position and letting go of baggage with the Hangman. And so whatever your ego was previously attached to, you know, you need to, the ego is still feeling a little bit lost and needs to get a clearer realization about, you know, yourself and what you're connected to and what you want to add to community and, you know, the world at large. So again, reflecting on your values, what you need and what you need to unlearn, or, you know, start to unlearn, so you can actually experience growth. And this is really, you know, ego is where you've got the attachment to the identity of who you thought you should be. And a lot of us tend to identify ourselves with our jobs. And again, wrongfully so, because we're so much bigger and more expansive than that in the greater scheme of things. So the last deck out, this is a new deck for me too. And so I'll go through a review on that one as well. But this is the Success Oracles. I really like this. It's kind of a fun deck. There's not a lot in terms of the actual book itself, but certainly, I mean, the cards pretty much give you a pretty good idea of where your mindset should be. So with Jeff Bezos, starting out here, again, this is the Success Oracles, and I don't see the name on it offhand here, but I'll bring it through in a review here at a later time. So for the moment, just a few key pointers of advice from Jeff Bezos, and Ellen DeGeneres is the one following. I pulled 3 cards, and we also have Janet Yellen. So starting with Jeff Bezos, the advice from this in terms of your finances, Jeff says, find your niche. Success isn't convenient. You have to be uncomfortable and outside your comfort zone to make it happen, and stay ethical and moral both to yourself and your market. Or at least that's what I was able to glean from that. So the card itself says a marketplace will find a place in the market. Convenience doesn't come easy. Moral obligations fulfilled by Amazon. So whatever creates the better insight for you. We also have Ellen DeGeneres, and the card it says is find where personal meets personable. Don't get with the times if they don't get you. Kill with kindness, resuscitate with humor. So my take on Ellen is about realizing that business or community has a place for everyone, and it's up to you to find your place and cater to it and enjoy the ride. And then we've got Janet Yellen, and her card says, if it's going to crash, it needs government cash. When it rains, make it rain. You can teach a man to fish, but you'll also need to stimulate a fishing industry. So I feel that for you, Janet is saying go with the flow, but also know when to create the market for your product, or know that what you bring to the table in any workforce is only identified if you see the value in what you're doing, and then you can make others understand your competencies. So don't wait to be recognized. Know your value and what you bring to the table. Be clear on how you're contributing to any employment or business sphere. Don't force the market. Create value by being of value. Well, that's what I have for you, Aquarius. Actually, sorry, I did pull a few more cards, and I forgot I added these in. This is just a little more on the financial front here. So I just wanted to quickly mention, again, with the Page of Cups, I feel that you're really moving toward some kind of offer that's coming through for you. So again, with this Page of Cups, this is the career and finance aspect of it. So with the Page of Cups, again, I feel that there is some kind of opportunity that's coming through that will make itself known here. And I do feel it's certainly a card of intuition. So definitely, you know, can be also reflecting on your inner child and being creative. But again, another card of defensiveness here. But again, same message. You're still able to stand up for what you believe in. You're very determined. Again, same repeated message in terms of your money. You're really holding back. You're really holding on tightly. There's a lot of elements of control here. Don't feel that you're in complete disarray on a financial front. Just that you're really not sure where your next dollar is coming from. But there is the Wheel of Fortune, which is moving in your favor, I feel, for this month, as I say, in January, because it does bring about the Ace of Pentacles. And again, with the Ace of Pentacles, really grounded energy. Certainly it is about the unexpected coming. So again, this could come in terms of money or abundance or some form of prosperity, but it does offer up some form of financial stability to you. So again, it's the power to get what you need, and it's a grounded energy, and certainly it does speak to good financial decisions, coming forward for you, and you could even be negotiating a raise, but it's definitely going in your favor. But again, a lot of introspection in the month of January. Hermit mode, you're pulling back, you're trying to figure out your next trying to get clarity on how to move ahead, how to proceed forward. With the Temperance card, this actually came through in a couple of cards here. So again, with the Rider-Waite deck, Temperance is certainly about someone who's watching over you that I feel is very close and very instrumental in bringing about a lot of this abundance that's coming forward for you. But you're being protected. But it's also a call for just to remain patient. But again, you've got clarity that's coming through with the Ace of Swords, and you're certainly coming through things with the Eight of Swords, and that's transitioning away from a lot of the difficulties that you've been encountering. So again, with that Ace of Swords energy, there is new beginnings and definitely a call for, an eagerness to learn something new here. And you're ready and willing to take on these challenges or to pursue a vision. So, and then when we're looking into the later deck here, this is, or the last part of the deck, this is actually the Babylonian Tarot. And again, with the Chariot, some of these cards are a little bit different in their interpretation and the meanings. Chariot overall, for sure, is really a card of success, oftentimes, or a victory or a triumph, whether it's over, a lot of your own negative thinking, but it's mastering something and you're able to move forward. So it could speak to travel as well. For some of you, but again, it is a victory where you're actually conquering something and able to move forward. So, and then we've got the Empress. So the Empress is really, again, that card of being a powerful manifester with this particular deck, and this is really about bringing something to fruition. So whatever is sort of fertile ideas that are coming to you now, it's going to lead to abundance down the road if you keep consistently putting out a habitual pattern and working on it. But it definitely does speak to something that is going to bring you balance and harmony. Could be a Libra energy in there as well. We also have the Six of Discs, and again, 6 is definitely about that balance and harmony that's coming through. But the Six of Pentacles is a very grounded energy. So I really feel that you're getting, for a lot of you, it could be assistance coming through, but I feel that this is really about you doing you. You're finally feeling like you've got some kind of a problem solved. You're able to figure out what it is that's going to move you to the next level, and that increases your rank, or it can increase your what's the word I'm looking for here? It can increase your standing on some level. So people are starting to see you differently here because it is a card of gaining in power, or gaining, period, and some kind of prosperous time for you, something that's going to bring about some good fortune. And again, we've got death, and certainly that is not necessarily a literal death, and I don't feel that that is the case with this particular card for you, but it is definitely about a transformation. So, you're definitely in some kind of metamorphosis state, where, it could be a little more on the Tower moment where there was some kind of involuntary change, something that could not be avoided, that you had to go through, but it actually is allowing for some kind of blessing to come through for you. So you're releasing, things that don't work and moving toward things that do. So we've also got, again, the wheel, and that's basically the wheel of fortune that is turning in your favor. So it's really destined. It's a time for karma. It's a time for, again, increase and success and luck that's coming through there. And so again, lots of repeats on these cards here. As well, we have the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands, again, another lucky card, really. This is still, again, all about finding that balance and being able to, gain victory after a difficult time. So some kind of success is achieved here. So when I use the word victory and success, it doesn't necessarily mean you're turning into a millionaire in the month of January, but what it does mean is that you can be getting some kind of public recognition for something you've put some labor into. So, people are starting to really appreciate something that you've done, and you are accomplishing or finishing up some kind of, something at its initial stage, and you're able to move forward with it. So you've nurtured it, and it's allowing you to advance. We also have the Two of Arrows, and again, this is a card of, it can speak to a decision that had to be made. But overall, I mean, it's still a card of trying to find balance. But again, Two of Swords can speak to a peaceful union, some kind of equilibrium, where a quarrel is resolved or whatever, some kind of indifference and adversity is in balance again. So there can be alliance or truce is basically what the card speaks to, and some kind of settlement of sorts. Very last card out is Temperance again. So it's really just a repeat of that same energy, so much of the same. So again, this really is a strong message for you for the month of January, with the Temperance card, again, about patience and, balance and just good manifestation and harmonious relationships. This is really about things starting to merge together, synchronistically. So the month of January, again, all about finding balance for you. But for the most part, I would say that you're just at the beginning of another whole new adventure for 2021. I don't feel like it'll be anything like what you had encountered at that time. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius, for January 2021. Hope that gives you enough momentum to get back on track, see where you're ready for change in February. Happy New Year, stay safe, and keep moving forward.